Hey guys, I've heard some criticisms about my last video, and I'm very happy for your honesty. And it really helps out, you know. Uh, and I'm happy to announce that this is my first scripted video. So today I'll be reviewing Weapons, which released a few weeks ago over here in Ireland, and it is my favorite horror film of the year. Well, I guess so far. Um, this will be a spoiler filled review, but if you guys want a spoilerless review where I talk about basic story beats and the themes and the genre and the characters and all, but not getting into specific plot elements, then just let me know in the comments below. And as you guys know, if you've seen my review for the film Together, um, I like to get the cons out of the way and end on a more positive note, right? So, um, let me just start there, and I'm also very happy to announce that Weapons doesn't have very many complaints on my side. Uh, but I do think that it could have been a little shorter. Now, I don't have any issues with longer films, but I I do believe they could have cut it a little bit shorter. The ending could have been shortened. Um, and this isn't even necessarily a con or a complaint towards the film, because it was just a slight issue with the pacing, and I was so invested with the plot otherwise. Another thing would be that the humor and the horror blend is a bit um, is a bit of a distraction from the story at hand at times, um, because sometimes it just didn't feel. I just didn't know which one it leaned towards, um, and that's okay. I mean, it's not the greatest. I wish they could have focused on one element, but for the most part, I think it succeeds pretty well. My most major issue with the film is that um, the protagonist, played by Julia Garner, is being choked out by Josh Brolin's character, and it's just really difficult for me to accept that she didn't not die. But that's my only real complaint about the plot. Everything else surrounding this film was just really enjoyable to me. Um, Speaking of the performances by Garner and Brolin, uh, they were the strongest in the film. Uh, an elementary school teacher that is being accused of being the reason behind the disappearance of all of her students, having to deal with the public outrage towards her, and the father of one of the students trying to find his son at all costs, is a really interesting dynamic, and they're two very great characters. And a little detail that I love is that Brolin's character saves Garner's character about a third of the way into the film, and in the climax, Brolin is saved by Garner, and um, I just love little details like that. They they add up so well, and their development is one of the highlights of the film. Uh, Another great thing about this film would be that the clown, the villain here, is extremely fucking creepy, and is the scariest clown that I've seen since Art the Clown in Terrifier 3, which I've also reviewed on this channel. Um, Pretty much every main character is very compelling, and I always wanted to see where they would go, what their relevance to the plot would be as a whole, and the Pulp Fiction like narrative structure really worked for me. I really enjoyed it. it just makes you want to know. It made me want to know, at least, this drug dealer, this drug addict. Why was he going back to the station? You know, why was he being dragged into this house by the cop? And why was Garner's character being jumped by a zombie? It really makes you wonder, like, what's happening? What the hell is happening here? It really makes you wonder, where's the film gonna end? Where's it gonna conclude? Makes you wonder, and it's just a very engaging film. It's got a very engaging premise, right? A bunch of elementary school children disappearing at the same time in the middle of the night. It's fascinating. Made me sit in that theater, wondering what the hell happened, you know. And those are the best kinds of films that make you sit there in wonder and awe, making you think. You know, using that brain to come up with possibilities. Um, another thing would be that the characters are very realistic. You know, they're very connected to one another, which I love. I love that other Pulp Fiction like thing where they're all connected in some way. I love it so much. The atmosphere is so off-putting. It's so distressing, and the infrequent but really gnarly violence really adds onto it. Um, so yeah, I just have very few complaints about weapons, and a lot of pros. There's a lot of pros here, and I would really recommend going to see it if you're a fan of horror, or if you're in the mood for a thriller with some comedy and some suspense there. Um, so I would give it 4 out of 5 stars. You can see my rating for every film I've seen on Letterboxd. If you check the details for it in the description below. And thank you for watching. Thank you for your criticism if you're one of the commenters who gave me some advice. Um, it really means a lot, and I really want you guys to keep criticizing things if you see an issue, because I want to just be better for all of you, and I want to be as informative as possible while also having some fun, right? So yeah, thanks for